kind of recap what we did anyway tonight. We worked on obviously hitting mitts and working on evading punches, particularly the jab. We're dealing with punches. Now, there's some pros and cons to everything. Think about a couple of the different ways that we can take care of a jab. Our first one that we learn is a parry. All right, so some of the pros of the parry, when the jab comes in and I parry the jab in this fashion, the pros to this are that I'm not absorbing any impact at all. Make sense?
Yes, sir!
Because I'm just touching his hand. All right. Some of the negative drawbacks to it, though, is if I miss that, I'm receiving full impact. All right, so it takes you have to have a good bit of timing. That's where mitt work comes in. We're used to hitting mitts and making that coordination between when he's throwing a jab and I'm catching it with my hands, I'm throwing it across, I'm catching with the mitts. It's teaching us also, when he throws his jab, how to parry. But for us to do a parry, where do we need to have our elbows? Next to our body or in front of our body? Which one, Ricardo?
In front of our body.
In front of our body, correctly. So my elbows are in front of my body, so when these punches come down the pipe, I'm able to parry it because it's coming right through. Make sense?
Yes, sir!
Now, other ways that we can deal with it, we've talked about, is if the punch comes in, I perceive it, I can slip. All right, now, again, some of the pros to that is that, number one, I'm avoiding the punch as a whole. I'm not getting touched at all. So I receive zero impact. All right, another benefit of it is that my vision is not obscured in one bit at all. When I parry, my vision is obscured to some degree. All right, if I slip it, no obscuring of my vision. All right, so I'm totally covered. But what are some of the negatives to it? If I miss the slip, again, if I miss the slip, I'm receiving full impact. Or the more I move my head around in a contest where kicking is allowed, I'm bringing my head into kicking or kneeing range. So if I'm slipping, now my head is closer to his knees, closer to his legs. So we have to think about that. Also, when I'm moving my head around, I'm going to set my feet. And when my feet are set, I can't defend against the leg kick as well. So those are things we have to think about also. The final way to deal with a jab that we can think about right now is, if he throws a jab, I can just cover my head like so. All right, the benefits of this is it's the fastest. I bring my hands are already up. It's very quick to deal with it. But the negatives are, number one, I'm absorbing impact. So if he's really drilling, maybe he doesn't have gloves on. It's a self-defense kind of idea. I'm getting drilled with full power. Secondly, my vision is obscured quite a bit. So picking up combos are tough. Final piece to that is after I counter or I cover this way, countering isn't going to be as quick. Whereas when I slip, I can counter faster. When I parry, I can counter faster. So that makes sense?
Yes, sir!
So